This episode of the Brilliance plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the spring formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I'm your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we're speaking with Jill Gordon, who is known throughout the land as Jill the Health Coach. She became a health coach and digestive health specialist after discovering the power of food to heal her daughter from an autoimmune disease in 2005. Currently, she works with women to help them uncover the root cause of why they struggle with weight, bloat, and digestive issues by uncovering food triggers, deficiencies, and negative self-talk. I'm already halfway answering question number 2 here, but I'm just giving you a preview. Jill's going to tell us a little bit more about the type of work she does, but I will leave one additional thing outside of what you're going to find when you visit this episode at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, is that Jill's additional secret sauce to her work is focusing on mind over matter, because it really matters what you let your mind think. And with that, Jill Gordon, welcome aboard. So happy to have you here today.
Hey, Adam, thank you so much for inviting me.
All right, let's kick right off. How does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
That is a great question. Well, first of all, when you don't feel well, you're not happy. And honestly, when you're around people, people sense that. So, then all of a sudden, when you've put your body back in balance, then all of a sudden you start feeling better, you're more confident, you're more happy. And guess what? That is a ripple effect, because then the people that you meet and you see or whatever you come in contact with, they're going to see that you're happy and confident. And then hopefully that will start a ripple effect. And hopefully, maybe they'll say, hey, what are you doing? What's different? Why do you look so great or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then that starts that ripple effect. So that's why hopefully, and that's my whole passion, is just to pay it forward so that people can feel better and they don't have to go through what me and my family went through.
I understand perfectly. So what is it that you actually do?
So, well, I'm a health coach, and, like you kind of said in the intro, I help people uncover the root cause. Because here's the thing, I work with a lot of people who see a lot of different doctors. They've got mysterious symptoms. They're not sure, well, why am I so bloated? Why do I have digestive issues? Why can't I release the weight? And there's usually some root cause that if you dig deep enough, you can actually really find. And I always talk about, helping people listen to their bodies, because your body's really going to give you the answer. And so often it's found with the foods that you're eating, or even just certain deficiencies. A lot of times you might have a mineral or a vitamin deficiency, and boom, once you replace it, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like $1,000,000. So it's all about bringing the body into balance and naturally. And that's what I try to do with my clients and through programs that I have.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I can't believe it's been 10 years. It feels like just yesterday, I decided that I was no longer going to consume items that used to have a mommy and daddy and breathe. To this day, I get the questions like, but you can have a hamburger occasionally, or just for one day. It's Thanksgiving. Can you eat like normal people? That leads to my point: is how did I do it? Well, when I worked with a coach to do this, first off. So I want to emphasize the importance of working with a coach when you're making changes to your diet, your nutrition, your supplement plan, your health in general. That's so important because it becomes valuable in ways that you cannot possibly see on the surface. It becomes very deep work. And, recognizing, even though I was repulsed by the idea by that point, because I saw the films, I couldn't just go cold turkey on it, for lack of a better phrase, cold turkey, because my physiology would rebel. So we designed a plan where I would transition off the formerly alive food by adding 1 day a week of being away from it for a 7-week period. I got there in 4. The catalyst was that I wasn't thinking about a requiem for my final rack of ribs. I was so focused on the exciting new discoveries in terms of new recipes that I was creating that it became more of an exploration of a new vista than even thinking about the previous vista.
And I love that. And I love the fact that, again, I used to say, and this is just having done this for so many years, I used to always say, listen, food is foundation, right? That's what you put in your food. That's how you're going to get balance and everything. But actually, I was wrong. Your foundation is up here. It all starts with your mindset. And when you make simple shifts, like you looking at it from a different angle, now it became much easier. Instead of that 7-week goal, you were able to do it in a much shorter amount of time because you got your mind ready and set to jump in, which is awesome.
I've had no temptation to go back whatsoever. It doesn't affect me either way. So I don't have pangs for things I used to enjoy. And let's say that I was meeting somebody who loves steak. Well, we can do that. Find a steakhouse that has a vegan menu. Most do these days. They make it a really wicked cauliflower steak. It would be excellent.
Oh yeah.
And if I'm sitting across from somebody and they have their New York strip steak that's medium rare and their loaded baked potato and their heaping bowl of dairy ice cream, you know what I'm going to say if I say anything at all? I'm going to say, did they cook that to your satisfaction? Is that good? That's it.
Right. Enjoy.
If they have questions, they'll ask. If not, that's fine.
Right.
It's not for me to attempt to convert anybody. It's me to simply show an example, and if people are interested, they'll be interested. And if not, those of us who, I'm not sure what your dietary regimen is or what some of your clients do, but people take on these things, whether it's veganism or doing the gluten-free thing, whatever. They start to get the 20 questions from people that they're sitting with, and the questions start to take on this almost sarcastic, needling tone. So I have a simple way of dealing with that. I say, I'm really here to enjoy my rabbit food. I see you have your chicken parm, and that's awesome. So tell you what, if you keep asking me questions about where I get my protein, I'm going to tell you where your chicken parm came from. Would you like to have this conversation? Would you like to enjoy our experience together?
And there you go. It's about, Some people are, listen, you can't just change the world, even though as much as I want to, but, and yes, in certain situations like this, it's just a matter of knowing who if people are open to things, great. But if they're not, I say nothing.
Exactly. And I wanted to segue into this for a moment, just to give people a taste of how some of this type of coaching works and how we share these messages in a way that reaches more people. So I appreciate you playing with this little segue here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to speed up a little bit.
Okay.
If that's okay with you. So the first question I typically ask from the business side, other than the what do you do stuff, is what are some of the frequently asked questions you get? If you could name 3 of them.
So I guess a lot of questions that I get are typically like, can you help me? Like, how long will it take? Everybody wants it quick, right? Is there a magic pill? Is there this big magic quick fix? And then, is it difficult or complicated? Those are the most common ones that I do get.
What are 3 questions you wish people would ask?
Well, and we already talked about this, but, how can I shift my mindset so I can get into that
Yeah.
right frame of mind so I'm really ready to do it, not just depending on willpower alone. You want to get into those really good shifts. And then, more, how can I make my results last? I mean, which simply really it's more about, well, you got to do the same things that make you feel good and just kind of continue, right? And then, I'd love people ask me about my experience. Do I walk the walk? Which I do. I do 100%. And share. And that's why I'm so happy to share my own personal experience, because I'm right there in it, in the trenches. So
Precisely.
yeah,
So let's get to know Jill a little bit better.
Okay.
What is something that people who know you would be surprised to learn about you?
You know what? Well, when I turned 40, actually, and I did this alone, I jumped out of a plane. Now, my whole family was there, and everybody was rooting me on the ground, mind you. Nobody was brave enough to go with me, but it was probably one of the coolest experiences that I had. And what was so cool is I was in tandem, so I was attached to my instructor. We jump out, and of course, I'm totally terrified. And he just goes like this. He's like, "Welcome to my office." And it was really one of the coolest things that I ever did. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. I'm all for skydiving as long as I'm on the ground when I do it. That's just me. My idea of camping is to do it at home. My idea of a cruise is behind the wheel of a vehicle.
There you go. Whatever works. I don't know if I would do it again at this point. I don't know if I'm brave enough, but or stupid enough, whatever you want to say. But yeah. But it was a lot of fun. It's very cool.
Yeah, skydiving is something you can screw up once. I've had friends who are skydivers. I know how exciting it can be. What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Whoa. I just hope people like that I made a difference, like that's my biggest thing. All I want to do is pay it forward. I mean, we had a really tough experience with my daughter, and it was awful, and such simple shifts, I can't even imagine where she would be. But had we not gone down the more natural path, she would literally have had most of her colon cut off, because it was really aggressive, her situation. And, she would be wearing a bag. It would not have been a pretty situation. And I'm just so, so grateful that I would just hope that people, at least, maybe one thing that they heard from me just helped them. That's all.
That's awesome. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing you've experienced, what would it be?
So, I mean, honestly, I have made a ton of mistakes in my life, but I wouldn't trade them in, even though they were agonizing as we were going through them. Decisions I made or whatever, they were horrible, but I'm very big on, it's what you learn from them, because you're going to learn from every single thing that you do. So, and I always tell my kids, especially, it's like, it's your true character is not by a mistake that you made, but your reaction to that mistake. And, that's how you learn, and that's how you grow. So I hate to be evasive with your answer, but it's true. I mean, I have no regrets with, any of the mistakes that I made or anything, because they've all been learning opportunities.
Yeah. In our Everything Podcasting discussion group, I did a live stream in our podcast initiative series. The title of it was I Am Your Voice. And I gave an example of a conversation I'd had on my other podcast, the Business Creators Radio Show. The long story short is a bank manager made an offer to me about something where she, of all people, should have known it would irritate me to make that offer. And I told her right to her face to F off.
Ooh.
And I was thinking, whoa, okay. So first of all, I want to be clear. I was not saying, oh, look at me, I'm so big and bad. I was saying that was a wrong thing to do. But by having that experience, it was actually a priceless lesson to me in being able to recognize that even though we think we're perfect communicators, we all have something to learn. And that would not have happened if I would have maybe said something like, okay, I think you don't seem to know my face, but I think you know my name. And I'm going to say my name, and after that, you're probably going to recognize why this is a conversation we shouldn't have. Now after it happened, of course, I mean, I stormed out, but then I went back because I was 3/4 of the way mortified. And but the point and the reason I share that story, regardless if it makes me look less than perfect, is because as an influencer, as a podcast host, I am the voice of my listeners.
Mhm.
And if I can share that story and it helps somebody else avoid the same thing and helps them learn the lesson without having to experience it in the visceral way of it being something they're really going to remember, then I paid it forward.
There you go. And that is priceless. And I love that, you said it that way. That's perfect.
Right. So yeah, on the surface, it's kind of like, whoa, that's a real shock jock thing to say on a podcast. But then when you get into the full story, you see, yeah, there's something there in terms of helping us to relate to people we need to negotiate with, people we may have conflicts with, people we may be looking to impress and influence.
Yep, absolutely. Listen, I love it. Listen, we are all flawed, right? We all make mistakes. Absolutely. I make lots of them every day, right? Well, hopefully not that many or too many, but we all do. We all do. And you're right. When we share,
fail early, fail often.
Others.
Fail early, fail often is what I say. What speaking of impressing, what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet, and what questions would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
You know who I just love? Bob Proctor. And
yes.
For those who don't know Bob Proctor, he was in The Secret. He's very much in self-help and just manifesting whatever you want in life. The guy is 86 years old and he still looks amazing. He's still working and he's still making a difference in so many people's lives. I mean, the guy's incredible. So I tell you, it's funny. I don't know, since I'm not where he is, like in terms of, how he's come along and everything, I'm not sure. I wouldn't say, how do you do it or anything like that, but I would just love to have a conversation with him. Like just, not really super specific questions, but just more like, let me just hang out with you and just, find out more about you. And just, I don't know. I just think he's just the coolest guy.
Yeah.
So 86 years old. I don't know why I resonate with him so much. I do a meditation by him.
Nice.
Often. And he just, I don't know. I listen to a lot of his stuff and he just is amazing to me.
Right. What motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Well, the truth is, I mean, like right now, I'm in the middle of doing a big project and sometimes it's tough, to stay motivated and you're just like, especially as an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes you're sitting here alone trying to do this stuff. And to me, what I try to do is I always try to think, okay, hold on, Jill, this isn't about you. This is about, sharing your message because there really are so many people that need my help. And I'm not patting myself on the back or anything like that.
Right.
Anybody could do this, but it's just people need to know, they need to know this stuff so they can feel good. And so when I start to think about it that way, it's like, okay, let's jump back in the saddle and let's just keep going because it's not about you. Because so often, right, when you think it's about you, whatever, no big deal, or, but when it's about other people, at least, that that motivates me a little more.
The big lesson from that experience I shared on my other podcast, in my live stream in my group, and I alluded to a few moments ago on this episode, is the lesson that I gained from that is just when you feel like you're ready to go off, that's actually a sign that now would be the time to calm yourself.
Right.
And open yourself to the opportunity. There's a profound learning experience that is about to present itself.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah, so I know you have a special gift for our listeners, and I'm going to share that with them. In general, what is one thing you would recommend our listeners to do today as soon as they finish listening?
Eat real food. Honestly, it sounds so contrite, like basic, but the problem is like people don't realize that, the food that you put in your body is fuel. And that is how to make your body operate the way it should. So when you eat the fuel that your body was meant to eat, it will operate the way it's supposed to. That means it will go back to balance. So I will challenge everybody today, when you go to the supermarket, Shop the perimeter of the store.
Yes.
That's where you're going to find your one ingredient foods. One ingredient, like apples or a banana or chicken. Find the one ingredient foods, because those are the foods or fuel that your body knows that can assimilate and make everything work so much more efficiently. But don't take my word for it. You do it yourself. Everybody, try it yourself. Just have one ingredient foods, even just for a few days, a week, whatever. Listen to your body. Listen to your body, and it will tell you if it feels better. So that's
great.
Yes, my one word of advice.
All right, I'll stop at Whole Foods later. I'll pick up some oranges. All right, so
there you go.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And before you go, here's what I know what you wanted to share. If our listeners could go to, you'll see it on the screen if you're watching the video version right now. It's jillthehealthcoach.com/free-shopping-list. If you visit our website at brilliancepluspassion.com and look at this episode, you'll see it in the show notes. I'll say it one more time for those of you out jogging or shopping the perimeter. It's jillthehealthcoach.com/free-shopping-list. And what you are going to find there is, here's how Jill describes it. Sometimes learning to eat delicious food we are meant to eat can be tricky and confusing. So this personal shopping list comes complete with daily guidelines to get your body back to balance by eating real food. I will try it as long as there's oranges on there.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So Jill Gordon, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Thank you, Adam. It was such a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.